What up? Welcome back. Oh, you running out on me? It's fine, because I got you, kid. IRSB. Oh. You win some, you lose some, I guess.
Psycho.
It's been a while since we've been on. For those of you who've been here since the beginning, thank you for still staying subscribed. Sorry we haven't been consistent with the uploads. We just had a lot going on. So, like I was saying, you guys seen the thumbnail and the title, so you already know what we're going to be discussing today. I figured it's been, it's probably the perfect movie to get me back into the swing of things, because Happy Gilmore is my all-time favorite Adam Sandler movie. I seen that when I was very young, too young, like 5 years old. And it put golfing on my bucket list, as weird as that is, but no, whatever.
We'll check in with these two later.
We're talking about Happy Gilmore 2. Was it as good as the original? Was it a good, bad, all? Or was it a steaming pile of trash? Shout out to Tyrone Magnus. But anywho, I think it was pretty good. It was serviceable, because my thing is, you're never gonna, like, Happy Gilmore is one of my all-time favorite Adam Sandler movies. Like I might have said already. I don't know if I edit that out. But anyway, and you're never gonna capture that lightning in the bottle twice. Don't get me wrong, he made other funny movies, but I'm saying with the same, like, as a, everybody knows sequels normally don't really, hit the same in general, especially that far removed. So anybody rushing to, like, well, I would say theaters, but it was Netflix only. Anybody rushing to Netflix to be like, oh, let's capture the magic, calm down. It's not gonna happen. Are you expecting, like, completely fresh jokes and everything completely new and no callbacks or little callbacks? No. This movie's chock full of callbacks and references to the original. Mostly, in my mind, I imagine that's only because the movie's so far removed. Like, that original was like almost 30 years ago. And now everybody wants to watch the first one to see the second one, especially since they're taking Happy Gilmore off of freaking Netflix. Bastards. Keep my movie up there for all time.
Psycho.
I'm not crazy. You're crazy. Anyway, so
Hang in there, Squidward. It's all part of the job.
So the movie starts with Happy. He gets plenty more jackets after the first movie ended, and he got his first one. He gets like 5 others. He's on a lucky stride, random stuff like the golf ball being this close, but some bird shit knocks it right into the hole, random stuff like that. And there's nowhere to go. The saying, when you get to the top, there's nowhere to go but down. So he hits the golf ball straight into his wife's forehead, killing her. Mind you, they have 4 boys and 1 girl who ends up being his real life daughter. But they are now, he's now a single father. And, with all the loss in the first movie, even like in the first, the first one opens with him losing his dad to like a random putt striking his dad. So, for him to do that kind of same exact thing to his wife, very traumatic. So, they play up on the drama, and because I would think the original kind of made all that kind of, they played up for laughs. it was like, that's crazy. You know, that kind of like 90s humor, you know? This one, for me, it was that same 90s. I was like, they're shiesty. That was my reaction. Oh. Yeah, so that was my reaction. But the movie takes it a lot more seriously this time. So Happy develops a addiction to alcohol. And that's pretty much, you know, how the movie kicks off. So he, you know, he's a shell of his former self. He's kind of washed up. His kids grow up, and they're all kind of like how he was in the first movie, kind of like angry knuckleheads, pretty much. Except for his daughter. She has a real good talent for being a ballerina. Ballet? Whatever, right? You know what I'm talking about. Tutus and dancing shit.
Jackass!
Oh, wait, I got you. It's like this. Boop. Like that.
You serious?
That's how his daughter is. So, basically, oh, important detail. So his wife took care of all the finances, and when she died, all the money left because he didn't know he had to pay certain things like the car, the house. Loses his grandmother's house again. The boys, I think they moved out, got their own jobs or whatever, but he kept the daughter, you know, and now they're just trying to get her into college for like this Paris school for fancy dancers. And he starts practicing with these young kids. They don't know it's him. They do a whole little bit. Speaking of bits though, the funniest part for me is, like, as far as new jokes, there's a ton of old jokes that, you know, it made me chuckle. I get that they're callbacks. Again, I watch Family Guy, so my sense of humor is very forgiving. I put it like that. You know, there'd be like these comedy snobs. They'd be like, "Bro, we don't need these old jokes from the old movie. We could just watch the old movie." But it's like 30 years apart, and it's a sequel, so you know they're gonna make the same jokes. You should be like expecting stuff like that.
Jackass!
Whoa!
They did something cool where they made like a AI de-aged or just a full-on AI. I don't know how they did it, but they made like Adam Sandler like back in like the first like a 90s Adam Sandler and some new ads with the kids in the background, and made like a whole de-aging or AI thing for, you know, for the ads and whatnot. It was pretty cool. I remember my friends was like, "How do they do that?" And I was like, "I don't know." Some of it was old footage though, so it was fun to see the complete first movie old footage from the AI new ads and footage and whatever, like to see the differences and whatnot, little Easter eggs. But as far as the new jokes, the funniest one for me is when he just take like random household appliances or his phone or something and just take it and it's straight alcohol in there. It was hilarious. Like, he'll just be on his phone, like, man, and like a little switch come up with a little lid, and get wasted off random stuff. Surprised he didn't take his shoe off. Freaking glasses had, or what you call it. It was just funny. Now he did do that, and he got drunk enough to drive a golf cart off the ledge, and got a, was it probation or, mind you, as you can probably tell, no script, fresh off the top, baby. So bear with me, but basically drove a golf cart off the ledge. There was like the younger guys were in the cart freaking out. He got a court order to go to AA, and the guy that was in charge was the same dude that was watching his grandmother in the first one. And he's like, "You're in my world now, Grandma." That guy. and he was shitting on Happy the same way he used to shit on all the old folks in the nursing home, making them do like outlandish labor for no reason, like paint my house type shit. I was like, bro, that's insane. I'm surprised Happy didn't knock him upside his head already, but you know, well, too much cats. There's some training arcs where he like, you know, practices his game, got some Vaseline in the store, the golf balls, he's on the beach. This homeless dude takes the freaking golf club and be like, hey, this is how you do it, and sends it flying in the air. He's like, yeah, no, you're good. You stay over here. Coincidentally, Happy forgot to get a caddy, and then he got Bad Bunny to be his caddy. And then the caddy tried to get a caddy, and he was like, no, you can't, do that. But next thing you know, there's this whole other part of the movie where Shooter McGavin is in the insane asylum, and they're like, oh, what would happen if you see Happy Gilmore? He's like, oh, I wouldn't do anything, I'd just say hi. And he's like, what if he's wearing a jacket? Then I'll shove it down his throat. And he starts like tweaking out, and they send him back. There's this new golf thing going on, and there's a guy trying to sign Happy up, but he refuses. And then he ends up telling like a few people, like he got horse breath, steak breath. So then he ends up telling everybody about how bad this guy's breath is. Meanwhile, he gets the guy whose name escapes me. I'm just gonna call him Stank Breath. Stank Breath goes and gets Shooter McGavin out of the insane asylum, and he shows him like the new golf, maxi golf, I think is what they call it. Maxi golf. He shows him like the new and improved golf that he got going on, and Shooter's not having it. But he finds out that Happy's wife dies, so he goes to the cemetery to pay his respects. Oh, okay, yeah, no, that's what happened to Happy. So Happy was doing good in his game, but then his douchebag AAA sponsor dude, aka the grandma abuser, was like, oh, that's good. Let's just see how good you do tomorrow on Mother's Day. Dead wife, kids don't have no mother. He blamed himself. Alcohol. Yeah. So, needless to say, he relapses, makes a whole mess of the thing. Still ends up placing 6th though he finds that out later. But this is now that's all the stuff I missed. So now he's back to Shooter McGavin, where he's paying his respects, and he's saying, I'm sorry, I had you get me asked you to get me a Pepsi, and then Happy's behind him. We don't know this as the viewer though, but he just says diet, and then he's like, oh, and then he's like Happy, and he's like McGavin or whatever, right? So then they start fighting, but another callback joke where he's like, you stole my life, and he's like, why would I want to steal life of somebody who eats pieces of shit for breakfast? Tackles, and then the fight ensues. Now, if this fight happened in the first one, we all know Happy would have just mopped the floor with him, been done with it, because he wasn't really a fighter. Every time like Happy would mention fight, he'd be like, no, I'm talking about on the golf court, But in this one, I guess he's bloodlusted or whatnot. He's been surviving in the loony bin. He felt confident, and he didn't do that bad. It was a pretty even fight for the most part. The weird part for me is why after the fight is over that they become like friends and like laughs it off. Like that's I don't really. There's a lot of stuff like I don't mind, but that's the one I'm like, nah. They like lifelong enemies at this point. You just don't fight over, like, if they were friends first and then like something happened where like they just got into a fight and then they just laughed it off, that's how that works. But they were never friends. They wanted to fight since the first movie, or at least Happy did. And then Happy's just kind of laughing it off, and then the weirdest, like, Happy laughing it off and like being like, oh, whatever, is fine with me because he don't got no beef. He won. He just fought him off, you know, principle and whatnot, because he's still mad at him for the rain prank, the watering. What's it called? You know, the waterworks for the golf course. If you've seen the first movie, you know what I'm talking about. He told him, meet me at 9 at the 9th hole or something, and he went there, and then the water, you know, got on him from all the word escaping me right now. Put it right there. Right there. The heck is that thing called? You know what? Screw this. Hang on. What is it called when water comes out of a little hose to water your grass?
That's called a sprinkler system. It's designed to distribute water evenly.
It's been a long week, all right? The sprinkler system sprays all over Happy, so I can see him being mad at him for that. But Shooter, he got the bigger beef here. He's been in the insane asylum for 30 years. How do you just let that go? You know? I don't get it. But that's the direction they wanted to go, you know? So, you know, I don't agree with it. I don't like it. I like what they did with it, but I don't like how they got there. Something should have been the catalyst for them to squash it. Instead, they just fought, squashed it, and then there was a catalyst that really wasn't that big of a deal in the first place. Well, to them it was, I guess. To Shooter, he was always, that's the reason he was hating on Happy in the first place. He wanted to keep golf stuffy and original, and Happy brought some life into it, which inspired this new guy to make like the freaking it's like taking a hole in the wall and all these little like Netflixy shows, like what's that show? I think it's called like Bounce or something. I don't remember. Thumbnail right there. Of that, they take a bunch of shows, you know. What the heck is that show called? Darn it! All right, you know, I'm not doing that again. Basically, they merged the golf and turned to like the X Games, but with golfing involved. And then Shooter's not having it, so that could be a reason why they teamed up with Happy. Why he teamed up with Happy, but
You serious?
alright, so maybe that's the reason. He just wanted to save golf, so he let it slide or whatever, but they're acting all chummy. It's weird. Lawyer came back and told Happy that he placed sixth, and the drinking that he did on the court didn't actually count because he didn't get no test, so they can't prove he was drunk. It just looked like he was drunk, and you can't, you know, that's not really how it works if you look like you're drunk. So they have no evidence. And then he also tells Shooter that, what did he tell Shooter? Oh, that technically the guy who got him out of the insane asylum, oh, I forgot. On his Shooter actually threw hot coffee on the guy who's trying to reinvent golf, Stinkmouth. So he reneged on his release forms, so now Shooter is technically an escapee. So they get to the maxi golf competition, And what they didn't know, at least they didn't really hype this up. They told us, I don't think they told like Happy and the other golfers this, but there's like a little surgery that the new aged maxi golf players have all did, where they get like a tendon in their thigh snipped, and that way they're able to bend all the way back to like 360 degrees, and like you can see my face if I keep turning this way, all the way back there, and swing back, boop, and hit the ball supposedly further than Happy himself. So do they? Sometimes, but Happy still, he still got it pretty much. There's this one scene where the original dude, we see one guy that did the surgery first before they introduced like 4 new characters. He hit the ball, let's say 503 yards, and then Happy hits it like 507. And he's like, somebody went further. Classic Happy. Now they continue through the games. There's like obstacles, like hit it over a forest, hit the ball like while driving the go-kart over obstacles, which they glossed over that, but that one looked pretty cool. I gotta do like monkey bars over things before they golf. Changing it to like the X Games just wasn't the way to go with this one. This whole maxi golf thing was a pile of shit. So at the end of the day, they end up doing this whole like circle in the middle of the ground where the hole actually is, but it's like a flexible, like it's a movable one. So like the ground is like this, and then the circle is like this thing, and it moves like this. Like you step on it, make it lower, and then it actually rotates. But the guy who was on his team didn't have to deal with the rotating, because the maxi golf owner dude, Stinkmouth, he has the remote to control the spinning circle the whole time, and nobody calls him out for cheating. So I'm just sitting here like, so we just gonna act like that's just okay. Dude helps him win. He not even playing. He's supposed to be a non-biased. Well, he could be biased in his mind, but he's not supposed to actually step out and play. That's like coming onto the field after his caddy leaves, and he ruined the first shot. He steps on the thing to tilt it his way. He hits it, but then the caddy gets off too soon, and then the host, creator, shitmouth dude, he goes and he steps on it and he hits the ball, and then he wiggles his foot to adjust the platform just right so that the ball goes in, which that's kind of cheating in and of itself, just off the fact that you just upped and joined his team or whatever. Like, but let's just say, you can get replacements. It's fine. They did the same thing when one of the dudes got injured. They replaced him with Shooter McGavin. So people that just standing around could just join your team, I guess. But that what actually is like, nah, you're not getting away with this one. This was like actually cheating, bro. So you got the remote. If you're gonna join the team, you can't have the power or the remote or anything. Leave that to upstairs or something. And you gotta do it for both. Like, that's gotta be part of the thing. Unless there's little switches or something that can make it like your fault for hitting the ball this direction or something, something where it's like, oh, this guy on my team, here you go, easy shot, line it up, boom. All right, now the other team, let's give him hell and twist the knob to all the way to max C. Before he even takes the shot, he makes a bet with Stinkmouth to pretty much put his daughter through college, get his grandma's house back, and buy a Bad Bunny Italian restaurant. Yeah, they got the whole thing spinning like a carousel. After that, they bring Shooter McGavin back before this happens, and he makes his shot. But Shooter's like, listen, Happy can do this, all right? I seen it. I lived it. I know not to doubt this guy. So he turns it up to max, and he's spinning, and then Happy takes the shot, and he's like a centimeter close, but it stops. And everybody's like, game over, you lost. But then just then, Bad Bunny, his caddy falls. He faints because it's spinning too much. He got motion sickness. He faints. And because it's very delicate, it shakes the ball into the hole. He sinks it. And he wins. And now there's like little time skips and whatnot. So now Happy is 3 months sober. And oh man, I forgot Lavelle Crawford's part.
A few words about your arrest record. What the hell?
Yo, the sign is real simple, B. It says wrap it up. Wrap that shit up, B.
And Happy's like, nah, I don't like you talk to that kid. And she's like, no, I got it. And he's like, nah, it's not okay. She's like, no, I got it. I think you got enough evidence. Can we get him now? And then dude's like, what? You high? Huh? You on drugs? And then that's, window break open, like FBI. And he's like, you snitched on me, bro? You narked on me? Or whatever word he said. But, yeah, then he got in trouble for extortion. I was waiting. This is what I wanted with that guy. I wanted Happy to somehow, just write it in somehow. Like even if he had to go out like Scar, where he snitched on himself for no reason. Yeah, it's a whole nother topic. Like, I don't know why Scar would just snitch on himself. Like, he got himself fucked up. He was about to win. He said, listen, I did that shit. And then all things went down for him. Anyway, he could have did that, though. He could have just told him, like, I'll treat you like I did your grandma or something, something. Or maybe like a diary, a notebook, or some way to make Happy know that he treated his grandma like shit that whole time he was there. Because he still never found out about that. So that's what I would have wanted, for Happy to find out that he was doing that, and then put the pause on him, yoke him up, chase him. That's how that chase started, something like that. I don't know. Shooter, he didn't come to mess around. He came, he saw, he conquered. Same thing with Happy. It didn't feel like another Adam Sandler character. It felt like Happy was back. His sons were kind of funny, though they just did old Happy stuff, to be honest. Like, if some people, are going to say, it was kind of forgettable. And then some people like, it was funny for what it was. But yeah, overall. Oh, wait. I didn't get to the end. So at the end of the movie, the boys are, and his daughter, they got the money for the daughter to go to college, and she's at the airport. They're all at the airport, and the brothers go with the sister. The sister's going off to school, and the brothers join a singing mime group. And then Happy leaves. He watches the plane goes off. He starts the car. It's dead. So he gets clubs and walks off, and then that's it. Soundtrack. They had the same soundtrack. I don't think they had Wayward Son. Carry on my wayward son, and there'll be peace when you are done. That one. They didn't have that in here, but the whole they had that in there. So the member berries were fully activated.
Remember Chewbacca again? Oh, I love to remember Chewbacca. Remember? Hey, remember when there weren't so many Mexicans? Oh, I remember.
Wait, what?
If you've seen South Park. Overall, I would give this movie a 7.5. But if you can't use 7, let me see. If you can't use 7, let me see. I'm gonna rate Happy Gilmore 1 first, since I never did a review on that. That one, 9.5, 10 out of 10. Like, boom, right there. Now Happy Gilmore 2. yeah, like a 6.5, 7 out of 10. Yeah, I watched it like twice too, just to, you know, I watched it without seeing the first movie, and then I watched the first movie and then the second movie after. So yeah, 6, 7. I'm just giving it a 7. 7.5 out of 10. All right. So yeah, overall, I give this movie a 7.5 out of 10. Was it the greatest sequel in the world? No. Was it awful? No. I thought some jokes stand alone. They're very funny. They really felt like all the characters were back. You know, they gave the vibe. Well, of course they are, because everything was kind of rehashed. But if that bothers you, then you're going to think this movie is like a 2. Like, if you can't stand flashbacks and callbacks and you want everything to be like original, or at least like 60% original, which, you know, 60%, you're not really asking for much. If you want things to be 90% original in a sequel, then, you know, just skip it. I don't know what to tell you, man. You're not going to like this movie. If they don't bother you, if you have callbacks and whatnot, and none of that bothers you, you know, as long as it's done, you know, funny, then, yeah, you'll probably like it. Yeah, so that's my review of Happy Gilmore 2. And I'm out of here. Peace, YouTube. Oh, and then another. Oh, another funny part from Happy Gilmore 2 was when the fighting stopped with Shooter McGavin, and they're getting ready to leave. And they on the grave, and all you see is the picture of the old lady from the first one, where she got the AC crushing her, and you hear, Mister, get me out of here. You can tell it was a sample from the first movie, but they use it as her stuck in the grave, buried alive, or a ghost, one or the other. Pretty sure they was trying to go with the ghost thing. That's why they left in such a hurry. But hilarious. And another funny part has to be when Bad Bunny was doing the toughness test with the baseball, shooting at them, and he caught one, backhand caught the other one, and then like punched the one baseball in half, and then caught the other one's mouth, and everybody was looking at him like, yeah. So still has some funny parts in it. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments. Like and subscribe if you're new. If you're old, like still any, you know what I'm saying? You ain't getting off that free. You ain't getting off scot-free. Maybe not getting off scot-free for me. Nah.
Yeah, remember when marriage was just between a man and a woman? I remember. Oh, I remember.
What the f***'s going on with these member berries?